So you want to buy a nice chair and you do your research, you discover this channel called Ahnestly and you're like, oh my goodness, this guy's so handsome and his chair reviews are immaculate. and you decide, oh, okay, Herman Miller is the company for me. And you go over to hermanmiller.com and then you begin to immediately cry because a chair that you want now costs almost $2,000. But then you go over to Amazon.com, you go over to Walmart.com, and you discover that there are refurbished chairs, Herman Miller chairs, that cost a fraction of the price. Is it worth it? Should you take the risk and pick them up? Well, today, that's what we're gonna do. This here is the Herman Miller Embody. Well, inside the box is the Herman Miller Embody. This thing cost me $1,200, and this over here is a remastered Herman Miller Aeron. Remastered are the newer Aerons that got started being produced in 2017 and so on. And so this here cost me $1,100. Are they worth it, or should buyer beware? You know who you don't have to be aware of though? Today's sponsor, Viking Mill. Viking Mill is a small business. They're actually my neighbors right across the hall from me here in the studio. They specialize in custom woodwork, in particular live edge tabletops. Their live edge tabletops look absolutely gorgeous, but they also take other custom orders. One of my favorites, which is this dining table, which is absolutely gorgeous. If you want to DIY something or you're into woodworking, they also sell a variety of kiln-dried wood slabs. Currently, they only service Eastern Pennsylvania and all of New Jersey, but as they grow, they're hoping to service all of the continental US. You can reach out to them on Instagram at Viking Sawmill, and you can use my code Ahnestly5 for 5% off everything. Wood slabs, custom orders, tabletops, you name it. This is gonna be a super casual video. I'm gonna probably do this in one take, but before I get started, the first yellow to red flag. Both of these chairs are from a company called Office Logic's shop. Now, if you follow this channel, you know that last week I reviewed a headrest of theirs and I bashed it, saying it was one of the worst headrests I've ever tested. This, I promise, this is not meant to be an Office Logic's bashing month or anything like that. I did not know these were from Office Logic's because the Herman Miller Embody, the display name for the company that I was buying from, is a company called El Cursi. But surprise, surprise, when it comes, it actually says it's from Office Logic's. The Herman Miller Aeron, the remastered Aeron over here, on Amazon.com, I purchased it from a company, the display name was Damasco Ergonomics. Surprise, surprise again, when the box shows up and it says Office Logic Shop on the shipping label, it also says Office Logic's. This is especially weird because both on Amazon.com and Walmart.com, Office Logic's has their own separate shop. So yeah, all these companies are the same exact company. Now, why do they do this? I don't know. I can't give a definitive reason. I talked to someone who's in the e-commerce industry and they said that, well, sometimes when that happens, the reason why they do that is because they're trying to avoid negative reviews, because no reviews is better than negative reviews. So again, I don't know if that's why this is happening here. I just want to point out that that's the first yellow to red flag in all this. But let's go ahead and unbox this. Again, this is gonna be super casual because it's not like I can reopen these again. Let's start with the Herman Miller Remastered Aeron here. I'm pretty excited because a remastered Aeron, if you were to get it kind of on your own in a marketplace, like Craigslist Marketplace, this is supposed to be fully loaded, by the way, it should run you about $800 to $900. So $1,100 for this is what they call a like new remastered Aeron. We'll see. Leg looks pretty good. I see some scratches on the side, but nothing I'd really ding it for. Oh, let me show you what packaging looks like, by the way. I'm gonna show you guys this. It looks like I have to assemble the chair totally, which I guess from the box you could probably tell. But yeah, it's like a cardboard box and then some paper and then the chair. So yeah, very minimal padding, cushioning, especially when you're dealing with mesh. It could be a little bit dangerous here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that here. Again, I'm not as familiar with like repairing these chairs or anything, but you can see that the lumbar is totally off kilter. I'm not sure if you can just kind of move it and hook it. I think you just kind of have to re-hook it in. I see a little hook here. There's that little hook there. The backrest seems good. I see a tiny, tiny bit of fraying on this side. I don't think it's going to actually impact the usability of the chair and the longevity, but there is just a tiny bit of fraying right there. Some more paper, and in case you think it's a lot of paper, it's not. It's literally just a giant roll turned over one time, so it's not even that thick. Then we've got the base part here. Again, not a ton of protection here. You've got a very thin sheet of paper covering the mesh seat, so that's that. And then on the arms, you've got saran wrap layered twice. Casters in here. And then you've got the gas spring here. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that this thing is not new. You can see all the sticky residue. You can see even like the oil spillage on the side of the cylinder. Yeah, this is definitely pulled off of something and just reused. This is the first thing that dies on a chair. So yeah, kind of sucks that they don't give you a new one here. From what I understand, and this is again, dealing with Herman Miller repairmen from the past, they basically said that each screw has to be tensioned a certain amount. So you can't just go and like wing it with your hand. So the fact that there's no tool or instruction on how much tension these pieces need as you screw them together, that is kind of a big ding here, especially the fact that you don't have an instruction sheet. Like if you don't know how these chairs go together, it should be fairly obvious, but I mean, it would always be a nice to have, right? Plus no tool, no Allen key, nothing like that. So I gotta actually go get my own. Let me do a quick inspection of the seat bottom. No Herman Miller Aeron sticker, which is expected. Mesh looks good. No issues with the mesh. Okay, that's it for the Embody. I'll come back with in-depth notes compared to a brand new one I have over there. Let me go ahead and clear this out of the way, and then let's work on the Embody. I spent over $2,000 buying these chairs so that you guys don't have to see whether it was worth recommending to you all. If you appreciate that, please subscribe to this channel, like this video. Let me know in the comments if you would ever buy a used chair. I really, really appreciate your support, and so would my empty wallet. Moving on to the Herman Miller Embody. This is from Walmart.com. Again, same company, but masked under a company called L something. This is supposed to be, I believe, the Rhythm fabric. So Rhythm is one of their cheaper fabrics. Oh gosh, oh gosh. And again, very minimal padding in here. You can see that the back is exposed right on the top, kind of wedged into the seat. You can see the arms over here. There's hardly no protection anywhere. No, not even like paper in this one. Yeah, and you can see that the courier or somebody was not very kind to it with the giant hole down there. Oh, this is weird. The back is so flappy. Maybe because it's got nothing to rest on. This is a weird thing to look at. I'm expecting more dings. Like that Aeron is pretty clean. And I think in general, that's how it's gonna go. The remastered Aerons are pretty new. So if you get a remastered Aeron somewhere refurbished, I think almost regardless where you get it from, it's not gonna be that dinged up. This is weird. This looks like the Balance fabric when it said I was gonna get a Rhythm fabric. Balance, for those of you who don't know, it's a higher quality fabric. I'm really confused. Is this a Balance fabric? If so, I got a great deal, because Balance fabric is more expensive. I have a Balance fabric Embody at home, by the way. So the Balance fabric is supposed to be the most breathable, which is why it's got these little perforated dots, and you can pretty much see light through it. The other Embodies, like the one I have over there, which is pretty much brand new, that one you cannot see through it. The bottom, I think, is completely attached because I see it spinning. That means I think it's on the hydraulic thing, plus the wheels. Here's the lever. Oh, this one does have instructions. Okay. The arms, this is pretty worn, and I can tell because the arms are pretty soft. And that to me is an indication that somebody's been using this for quite some time. Like these arms, they usually break down with use, and somebody used this thing heavily. Also, Herman Miller doesn't offer the Balance Embodies anymore. That's gone now. So yeah, but this fabric, it looks like it's in pretty decent condition. All right, I'm gonna do a smell test. Here you go. Here you go. Right where the booty juices would land. Surprisingly neutral. Nothing crazy here. This is not bad at all. Much better than I expected. See it from all angles. You can see that there's not a ton of discoloration. You can see the these marks that you see, that's all that plastic mesh, they're pixelated mesh. The Balance is a much thinner fabric, again, because it's a breathability. So you're gonna, again, be able to see through it a little bit more than you would on a standard thicker fabric chair. Also, I'm very curious. I'm gonna take this apart in just a minute and see if this has the foam all the way through, because that's gonna give me an indication of how old this chair is. There are some tears in the fabric, you can see. Yeah, there are just some holes up here, but you see right here, See how the rest of it has a mesh, but then there's just a giant gaping hole right there, and then a couple more over here. You see these big gaping holes right there? So that has torn. So I just went ahead and unclipped to check to see if that additional scrim layer is basically extra foam under the seat. I think Herman Miller introduced this in March or April of 2021. This chair, as you can see here, there is no foam layer under there. You would see this foam pad. It doesn't have it, which means that this chair is older than 2021, which I expected, right? I didn't expect this chair to be pretty new or anything like that. So yeah, just keep in mind that when you buy one of these, if you buy it, I just noticed that the listing is totally gone. Like I can't find a used Embody on Walmart anymore, but you might be getting an older chair. Again, this is obviously older than 2021 based on the missing foam. Don't judge me, it's all I have, okay? Correction, it's all I used to have. None of these fit. God, I'm stripping it so hard, hold on. Tension control. So tension control always goes in the back here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and test them for a couple days compared to their brand new counterparts that I bought from Herman Miller. And I'll be back in a couple days to report on how these are going. Let's start with the Herman Miller Aeron. This one is my pretty much new Aeron directly from Herman Miller. You can tell visually them apart because this one will have a headrest. This one over here is from Amazon.com from Damasco Ergonomics, which we know is just actually Office Logic Shop. So the biggest issues that I found on this used Aeron is, you guys saw when I pulled it out of the box, the lumbar support. Now, it turns out the lumbar support is fine. It works perfectly fine. But when I pulled it out, it looked totally broken and shifted. Now, I own 3 remastered Aerons at this point, so I kind of know what it's supposed to look like, and I could see, okay, you got to clip this on. Not everyone is like me, though. When you pull that out, you might think that, hey, that's broken, and I got to contact the company, file warranty or customer service or whatever, and at that point you're gonna have to deal with Damasco Ergonomics. And according to Amazon, their customer service is pretty abysmal. Is bad customer service gonna be a deal breaker for you all? I'd love to know down in the comments. The next big issue was the cylinder. Again, when I pulled it out, that thing looked used, it looked worn, and as a matter of fact, when I have these chairs extended all the way up, that's the best way to kind of test them. When I sit in this, I do feel a little bit of a drop when I sit inside of the chair. It's not super comforting because one of the first things that die on a chair is the cylinder. When I try it on my new Aeron here, I don't feel that same drop at all. Now, that wouldn't be a huge issue except for the fact that when you click Damasco Ergonomics, there is no warranty policy. On Amazon.com, it says, hey, go check the seller's website. There is no website. And here's where it gets more confusing. We know that Damasco Ergonomics is just another name for Office Logic Shop, or it's like another company front. I don't really know what it is, but we know that this came from Office Logics. And on Office Logics' website, their refurbished chairs get a 2-year warranty. So does it have a 2-year warranty? I have no idea. A minor issue is that there are some dings and scratches on the frames. It's pretty much what I expect from a used Herman Miller chair. Now, the real question is, a brand new, fully loaded Herman Miller Aeron in the exact same configuration will cost you about $1,750 or $1,800 after shipping. This one here costs $1,100. Do you think it's worth the price discount? Especially when you know that buying a new one comes with a 12-year warranty from Herman Miller, from a company with a proven track record of good customer service. This one over here from Office Logic / Damasco Ergonomics, both companies have pretty bad track record of warranty and customer service. I'd love to know your thoughts. My personal take is that these remastered Aerons are built pretty well, and they're so new at this point that buying it used anywhere is gonna guarantee you a good condition chair. Just be prepared that if you decide to go with Amazon, you might have to deal with things like a crooked lumbar that you have to fix on your own, and perhaps pretty bad customer service and warranty. So love to know if you think that's worth it. Moving on to the Herman Miller Embody. This is the new one I have here from Herman Miller, and then this is the one I purchased from Walmart from a company called El Cursi, which we know is actually just another storefront for Office Logic Shop. So the biggest issue that I found with this chair is that I did not get the chair that I ordered, which is normally, objectively, a huge red flag. However, in my case, subjectively, it's okay because this chair is technically an upgrade. I ordered a gray color in the Rhythm fabric. This is a black color in the Balance fabric. And the Balance fabric, as I said before, was the highest tier fabric back when Herman Miller sold it. They no longer sell it anymore. And as you can see, if I turn it a little bit, you should be able to see kind of through this fabric. Whereas this one, this is the Sync fabric, similar to the Rhythm. You can't see through it. So I'm not too unhappy, but objectively, you should be very unhappy. The next big issue is that the item listing for the Embody has totally disappeared on Walmart.com. Maybe that's because they don't want me to figure out that they sent me the wrong chair. I have no idea why, but it's no longer there. And when I click on El Cursi's link or their storefront, I can't see what the return policy is. I can't see what the warranty policy, I can't see anything. So I have no idea if I get any kind of coverage on this chair. But as we know, El Cursi is just another storefront for Office Logic Shop. And Office Logic offers a 2-year warranty on their chairs. Do I get 2 years warranty on this chair? I have no idea. The next issue is that I mentioned that there are holes in the fabric. Now they're not huge holes where I'm afraid that it's gonna continue tearing. They're just minor holes here and there. And again, it's only visible if you pull the seat pan fully out. Without that, the rest of the fabric looks fine. And then the final issue on this chair is, I totally forget what it is. Give me 1 second. The age of the chair. So as we saw earlier, I pulled this bottom up and there is no additional cushioning under the chair, which means that this chair is at least 3+ years old. This chair over here, this being one of the newer ones, it does have the foam layer underneath and you can feel it. So you can basically by feel, you'll see that this is much more cushier, whereas this one's gonna be a lot more springy and bouncy because the pixelated rubbery mesh thing is right underneath, so it kind of bounces there. Now, some minor issues. It's not really a minor issue. I don't really know what you would call this, but this chair is basically a lot more relaxed and broken in compared to this new one here. When you sit in it, you can immediately feel that the bottom kind of bends and bows down a little bit more, and the back is much more flexible than the back on the newer Embody here. Whether or not that's a pro or con, I'm not really sure because it does feel a little bit more comfortable because it's more broken in, but at the same time, are you someone who likes to break in your own things? You want it to mold to your own booty? Because if that's the case, then I could see this being a con. You can't buy this Embody anymore, and I have no idea if customer support or warranty exists for this chair. But if you could, for $1,200, would you buy this? Or would you buy the new one that is gonna cost you around $2,200 with an inferior fabric? This is the sync fabric here. I would love to know what you all think. Let me know down in the comments below. If you wanna see my top chair picks for 2023 to 2024, check out the video. It's gonna be up here somewhere. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, stay honest.